All right, here we go. Resident Evil 3, the actual trailer that was leaked, then denied that it was coming out soon, is finally here. Greetings, everybody. I am Dorian Jay with Game Shelf 91, joined today by the luxurious cartoony pic on the bottom there of MasterFeja.
I got I got upgraded to luxurious this time. Thanks, bud. I didn't know that I was so fancy.
And we are here to talk about the wonderful trailer, the Resident Evil that bridges the gap between Resident Evil 2 and yeah, because it starts off. Resident Evil 3 starts off before 2, then during 2, and then after 2, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all over the place, and they say before too because there is the prelogue in the original game where Claire kind of gives not Claire, Jill gives a breakdown of what the STARS members have been up to and what they've been doing, trying to hunt down Umbrella and trying to kind of like expose all their evil deeds. And I think they talk a little bit about the immediate aftermath of the Arklay Mountain incidences, but I don't think there's any actual gameplay before Resident Evil 2. No, wait, there kind of has to
Yeah,
be.
it's the police station happens before Resident Evil 2.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And then some of the stuff when she breaks out of her apartment. I keep forgetting that when when Leon first shows up to the city, that everything's already buggered. I don't know why in my mind I just think there's like a slow build up and then everything kind of goes to shit by the time he gets to the Raccoon Police Department. By the way, thank you for waking me up out of a really really nice dream with like freaking air sirens and gunfire and fireworks telling me, hey, by the way, you know how we did that video? Yeah, literally everything that we said in terms of time projection was completely wrong. Wake the hell up. There's a trailer.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into this then, so you can go back to your beauty by nap. So,
Up. Dude, come on. After Resident Evil 3 remake trailer drops, I'm not going back to sleep.
all right. Well, let's start us off. We're going to be jumping around. We're going to be giving our honest commentary, which is approved by terms of service and fair use. So it's going to be claimed anyway. So let's just get into this.
Yeah, let's just do it like 10, 20 seconds at a time, and then we'll just talk about what we see.
All right.
I've never seen anything like it. I haven't been able to sleep this
All right. We got some Cerberuses and some zombies. Always a good sign.
Don't give in to fear out there, right?
How did this
All right, calm
happen?
down, buddy. Calm down.
Send reinforcements! No! Wait! Hurry up!
I'm just gonna pause it there. I'm gonna go back a little bit. When they're on the over, there's that one scene where they're on the overstretched. I think it's the part where they're in the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lady. Let's see if I can rewind this a little bit here. And she's wearing red, like red
Yeah.
up there. You see the little daughter? Do you see what I'm talking
Okay.
about here?
Yes.
You're seeing some Resident Evil 2 footage of them in the sewer.
Yep.
But whose daughter is that? It feels like it's from Resident Evil 2 now. Who am I thinking of? Could this actually have some cameos from Resident Evil 2 in it?
I see what you're doing. I
Yeah.
see what you're doing. I
Like,
think
like,
all
who
of
has the red coat and stuff like that and guides a person's daughter through the sewers? Who was that?
oh my oh my god, Dor. Yeah, I think all these first scenes. Actually, now that I'm seeing it for the second or third time, something occurs to me. You know how we just finished talking about how this RE3 takes part before, during, and after Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
I think all of the scenes, and we haven't gotten to the part where it zooms in on Leon's face yet, but all the scenes up to and including that scene are from Resident Evil 2. You've got the streets of Raccoon City. You've got the Cerberuses, which would have been between the car crash when Leon crashes at the beginning with Claire,
Yep.
all the way to your run into the Raccoon Police Department. You've got zombies in the streets, obviously. You've got the bloodstained floor of the Raccoon Police Department's main hall. You've got Claire. Yeah, you've got Claire and Sherry running over the catwalks of the areas underneath the Raccoon Police Department, which would happen shortly after fighting Birkin for the first time.
Yep.
You've got the open like sewer construction that's supposed to be for the waterworks of the city, but is actually the expansion of the uh, underground umbrella facility. You've got the sewers full of all of the rejected G virus specimens and all that stuff. So it's all Resident Evil 2. But here's the thing I didn't realize on the first viewing: you've got your time. You got that little like snippets of time slowly counting up, right?
Yep.
Going through that whatever. This would have been like the third or fourth day of the outbreak. Then, and if you want to keep playing the video at this point, you'll get to the point where these scenes from Resident Evil 2 end, and then your time's gonna go all the way back by like about a day to like 20 whatever, which is 8 o'clock the previous day, and that's when RE3 starts. And I think that's really cool imagery. I never noticed that.
Well, yeah, because even that one part at the 27-second interval where you see Leon's face, like, close up.
Yeah, and then time goes back. Boom! It's 2007, the previous day.
Yeah, you see
September
Leon.
28th.
You see Leon enter the lab, and then it's just like Back to the Future.
Except for that it's back to the past.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the scenes with Jill running down her apartment hallway and stuff like that. I think that's going to be all cutscenes, just because if I remember correctly, you don't actually get to do anything in her apartment.
All right, but question for you.
Yes.
That big black figure, do you think that is Mr. X or Nemesis chasing her?
You know what? I'm gonna say it's actually Mr. X. I think it's actually Mr. X.
All right, because I've tried to do a little freeze frame on our video here, and it looks just like Mr. X completely. So
100%. And I'm gonna say I hope it's Mr. X, because if you remember what we talked about in the previous video yesterday, if you look at the silhouette of this massive figure, one, he doesn't look as big as Nemesis, right?
and he
Like
has
if
the
you
slender hips there, like where the coat wraps around. So
Exactly. You've got the slender hips. He doesn't have any weapons, and most importantly, he doesn't have any tentacles, right?
or
And
tubes, because for this time Nemesis has tubes apparently. So
well, in that promotional picture that we saw, I don't think we actually get to see Nemesis at all in this video, if I remember correctly. But the weird thing, and I think this is meant to be kind of like misleading, try to get people hyped and stuff like that, is that if you listen closer to the audio, when it kind of looks back towards that character, that large hooded figure or whatever, it kind of sounds like he's just about to say stars. He doesn't fully say it, but
he's
it
like,
sounds like he's about to. Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that's Nemesis, because it wouldn't make any sense for Nemesis to show up before Brad tells you about him,
yeah.
right? If Brad tells you about him after he shows up, then it doesn't have the same impact. And then him getting just like ambushed immediately after that cutscene and then murdered has a little bit less of an impact. So I think that what they're going to spin this off plot-wise is that they dropped several of those tyrants type 2, type 3, whatever the Mr. X was.
Yeah.
And this is one of them that was dropped to try to take her out. You might actually end up killing one of the Mr. X's early in the game, and then that's when the Umbrella Security Services or whatever decides to release Nemesis, the better version of that tyrant, to try to take you out.
I'm actually hoping, though, I know this is a little speculation, I'm actually hoping we get to see Nemesis kill a Mr. X.
That'd be like the ultimate fangasm, right? Just like a fist fight between Mr. X and Nemesis. I think that'd be a little too opulent on the side of fan service, but it would be sick to see.
All right, I'm going to bring back on the volume and resume the video.
Cool.
All right, I just paused it one more time where Mr. X jumps down the stairs or breaks through the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I can see, it still kind of looks like Mr. X and stuff like that. Like I don't see any possible way this could be Nemesis. His outline is just a little too perfect for what we saw in Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, and I mean he's just too humanoid shaped, right? Like
Yeah.
Nemesis, you brought up the interesting point of Nemesis in the original wearing the leather outfit and all that stuff to kind of try to contain like the explosive mutation of his flesh.
Well, that was the explanation that we were given. And stuff like that. If you actually look into Resident Evil history, that's what they told us for Resident Evil 3 is why Nemesis was wearing a big leather outfit. Because even in what was it, the Dark Side or one of the Chronicles ones where he has the light gun shooter.
Yeah, Dark Side Chronicles.
Yeah, it was just like Nemesis has to be restrained, otherwise his mutations will just go all ditto and go haywire. So
Yeah, I really do hope that they explain that a little bit better in this game, because when we played the first game and when I watched my first playthrough the original Resident Evil 3, I never quite understood why he started to like explosively mutate into his like second and third form, where he pretty much just becomes like a G virus blob.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really cool. I mean, my own headcanon was that he had taken so much damage that either his anger accelerated his own mutation, or it damaged his flesh enough that he started, losing his ability to control the mutation and became this like amorphous blob.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna continue now.
Cool.
Oh, all right. We just passed the part where he kind of like says something. But fuck, even with the lighting, like they're hiding it very well. Like I think this was supposed to be, is this Nemesis or is this Mr. X? Because they don't actually give you a clear shot. And
Yeah, it's meant to generate conversations, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I wouldn't fall for it. I don't think that they're going to introduce Nemesis that early in the game, unless, and this could be a complete red herring. What if this isn't even the beginning of the game, right? This could just be her in some other part of the city, running through an apartment, right? Like,
ooh, extra scenes.
right? Like this could just be a different part of the game. They're setting it up where chronologically in our trailer it would make sense that this is the beginning of the game. This is her starting her adventure into this nightmare of getting away from her apartment building and eventually leaving Raccoon City.
Yeah.
But that might not be where it happens in the new game.
Yeah. I will say this though. Oh, I'm gonna rewind that just a couple seconds so it's not a black screen. Do you remember the opening to actually Resident Evil 3 original?
I don't actually.
She comes barreling out of her apartment after an explosion, and that's exactly what we see as soon as she leaves the apartment in the intro here. Like this could be the opening cutscene, because if you go rewatch the beginning of Resident Evil 3, Jill comes, or not Jill. Yeah, it is Jill. Comes flying out of her apartment. She does the barrel roll and everything after an explosion. That's how Resident Evil 3 starts. And that's what we see right here.
Yeah. Also, I want to make a massive correction, and I apologize to all of the Resident Evil 3 mega fans. I kept calling the male main character of this game Enrico yesterday, and I have no idea why. Why didn't you correct me, man? But his name is in fact Carlos Oliveira.
Yeah.
You son of a gun! You let me call him Enrico for an entire video. Yes, so yeah, it's Carlos.
All right.
Jill, over here!
There's that face you're talking about, man. Like the engine does not do a woman's face justice.
No, it does. It looks weird. It looks weird in comparison to what I remember the characters looking like.
You guys see how I paused it right now, man?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have access to your screen, so.
I know, but when I paused it right now, like it's not a flattering pause. I'm gonna go.
Well, it's just like how the golden rule of watching Marvel movies is never pause it during conversations, because their faces always do weird things.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start looking at the Umbrella Security Service cameos that we have in this trailer.
All right.
How could this many people be infected?
All right. You got the first guy, who's a Russian guy who kind of looks almost like Barry, but with a very bad voice actor. I don't like his voice.
That should be Mikhail Victor.
It is, yeah.
He's going to be the guy who sacrifices himself with a grenade in the train trolley to slow down Nemesis,
Well,
if they keep the plot the same.
For anyone watching right now, I'm not sure if you can see, like right around where I'm having my mouse, you can actually see. It's actually he shows damage already. Like he's infected, he's scratched and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, the first time that you meet him, he's already kind of been buggered up.
Yeah.
I actually pulled up a cast of characters from Nemesis, from Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the original one. And now that I'm really looking at it, there aren't that many characters. I mean, RE2 didn't have a lot of characters either, but there's some guys that I don't even really recognize in this. I don't remember ever running into them, like Tyler Patrick. I don't remember there being a guy with glasses on the team. There's actually I thought the kid. If you keep playing the trailer, there's a young kid with like a toque, like a beanie. And I was thinking to myself, the only three characters I remember from the Umbrella Security Services from the original one was Nikolai, Mikhail, and Carlos. Right? Those are the only ones you really interact with. And I thought that this would be a new character, but I'm looking at the original cast here, and apparently that kid with the beanie, his name is Murphy Seeker. So,
Well, you gotta remember, this game had branching choice options too, so sometimes you could do a playthrough and not even see everything. So
yeah, yeah, I think the one that we did, we didn't run into Tyler or Murphy.
yeah, because I got it on the screen right now. It's a kid with a very flat beanie, and you're giving him first aid next to a car.
Do you know who it kind of reminds me of? If they did like face capture of like real people,
All right.
which I think they did. Do you remember the guy who played the second Spider-Man? Like, straight up, if you got a chance, just pull up a picture of Andrew Garfield real quick.
I
And
can't
put it
right
next
now,
to
but
Oh, okay. Well, you can do it at the end if you can after we do the video.
Yeah.
But like, this kid looks exactly like Andrew Garfield to me.
Awesome.
It's the weirdest thing. I'm just like, Spider-Man? Is that you? Oh my God! This is what he did after they started the Marvelverse. He went to go fight for Umbrella in Raccoon City.
All right, I'm not infected. But right now, it's got a hard-on for the only.
And of course, you see Brad Vickers right after, and I think they did.
RPD yellow vest.
Yep.
I wonder what happens to him.
You know what? Maybe his fate's a little different. But the weird thing is that, like, you look in the background, and while they're having their conversation, man, like the city is still fighting the infection. Like they haven't fully succumbed to it yet. There's people running by them, like living people.
Yeah, because in the scene I have right now, I got 1, 2, and I think a possible. Oh no, that is the same guy. I see at least 2 people running. You see lights on in the stores and stuff like that. Like the city is still. It's still there. Like.
Which I think is going to give a flair of making the place seem a lot more real, a lot more lived in, a lot more full, if they have a lot of scenes like that as the game progresses. Because even in the original Resident Evil 3, I just always felt that one and Resident Evil 2 had such a great opportunity to make this place seem really big, but because of the restrictions of the technology and all that of the time, they obviously couldn't make it that full.
Yeah.
It just felt like even when this was supposed to be a city that was fighting for its life, it just always felt empty,
They're going more Resident Evil Outbreak here, trying to make the city feel more alive. So.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna resume it.
Yep.
They don't need a bleeding heart like you getting in the way.
Who was the black raccoon employee again?
He's the guy that I mentioned earlier, Tyler Patrick. Was he in this?
Yeah, he's literally in there for a couple seconds and stuff like that. He's in there at the 1 minute and 55-second mark. So I was just curious. I couldn't remember who he was. Carlos with his hair. Oh, they actually did his facial hair pretty damn good, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, no, he looks really good. He doesn't look like he's like 15 in this one.
Yeah.
Star's office has to be in this direction.
Gets worse every night.
I'm looking at that 155 second on my phone here, and I don't see Tyler.
You don't see Tyler at the 155?
Oh, there he was. Yeah, when he's coming through the gate. I thought, yeah, that's like.
Yeah, I told you, man. He's there for like a second, and then
That's
he's gone.
crazy. Yeah, I hope that we get to see a little bit more of him. I thought maybe you thought that it was Nikolai going up the stairs and like, dude, it's Nikolai.
At the 207 mark, you see a guy on a computer screen. Do you remember who that is?
The guy on the computer screen.
Yeah. He
Here,
works for Umbrella and stuff like that. That's all I remember.
Oh, do you know what it might be? I don't remember, unless that's Nikolai. Unless that's Nikolai talking on the computer to whoever his like handler from Umbrella is.
Right.
That on the screen thing. Let me see what the dialogue says. They don't want the world to know what we've done.
It could be the doctor.
I think it's the doctor from Outbreak Files 2, man. How crazy would that be?
Oh, that'd be a good way to tie in, because Outbreak Files, before doing a remake of Code Veronica, that'd be perfect. Alright, I'm gonna continue.
Yeah, go for it. That'd be awesome. That's literally what we talked about yesterday, man.
Yeah.
I can't stop Stop them all!
You gotta get out of there.
You guys are the ones who caused all of this.
No, wait.
Oh, come on.
There's also we get a hint at a BOW at the 12:17 or 2:17 mark, but it looks more like a bat when you see it. I'll let you get to the 2:17 mark. It's only there for a second and stuff like that, but it looks just like a bat. Do you remember the bat BOWs from? Were they in Outbreak File?
I don't know if there was bats in Outbreak File, but there was definitely bats in Resident Evil 0.
Yeah.
You fought him. Do you remember you fought him in the church and you had to hit that bell thing?
Because it's either a bat or we see a first BOW giant rat and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're talking about with the bat. I'm also realizing that the video that you downloaded straight from the website and the one that you sent me in the link on YouTube are not the same video. They're off by about 3 seconds.
It might be different because I downloaded the video too. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's definitely going to be some new monsters, and I think that's really cool.
and I think the
Wait,
biggest
could it be
cool
dreaming?
thing of all is at around the 2:23 mark is when she looks in the mirror and sees the zombied version of herself.
Yeah, that's going to be so sick, man. I'm actually so excited to see what that hospital scene is like when you're playing as Carlos.
Yeah. Oh god, imagine being infected and seeing it from her point of view though too, like her going mad or her like breaking down. Like, how does it actually affect you? Now we might actually be able to see. I don't know. I'm getting Resident Evil 7 vibes, man. Or it's like actual horror.
No, it's looking really good. And then I like how the brand that they had from Resident Evil 2 shows up, obviously with 3 beside it, and then you have all those like darkened, blackened veins going through it. And like, okay, the
And the
scene
exposed
after-
pus pores and stuff like that in the arm is just like, oh, it's just so cool.
yeah. So we're already getting a tick for having the city being a lot more full, the game feeling a lot more real. Then you've got that tick next to having a more expansive delving into the characters. It seems like the entire security service team from Umbrella is going to get a little bit more of a story. There's going to be more happening in the city for them and for Jill. And then you had the potential tie back to characters from Outbreak Files. Maybe not the main cast, but definitely that one doctor, and that looks like him a lot. And that might explain that the appearance of new BOWs and the appearance of that guy that kind of looks like Mr. X. 'Cause I think he had his own monster thing. I can't remember if he made the Tyrant Nyx or the Tyrant Thanatos. He made one of those two. I remember hearing about this recently.
Yeah.
So that might be what we saw at the beginning of the trailer. And then if you play the trailer after the game logo, after the Resident Evil 3 logo, you see, and this is probably the thing I was the most excited for, it looks like there's flashbacks to how Nemesis was made.
All right, I'm playing that part. It's coming up to it. Resident Evil 3. All right, we're in the hospital or something.
Honesty.
Yeah.
Commitment, honesty, integrity. These are the core values of Umbrella.
These are the core values that create the foundation.
And yeah, you actually see Nemesis being loaded into the chopper.
Yep, and then you see those doctors experimenting on him ahead of time, or maybe that was just them prepping him for going into combat. I think that's going to be super cool. I don't know how they're going to be able to organically like fit it into the game. It's definitely going to have to be at a point of less suspense, because if I remember the game correctly, when we played it, it was just constant go, go, go.
Yeah.
It was like they never did flashbacks because you were constantly moving. There was constantly things happening to you. There just wasn't any time without losing suspense and immersion.
But you see
So-
where that metal thing is, though, right? It's like right over his heart.
Yeah, so they're trying to make him a little bit less anime and a little bit more in terms of how the rest of the tyrants have been, which
Yeah.
usually have some sort of like chest opening or something that's really weak to them. So I think that's going to be super cool. I'm excited for that. And then we get to the last, 10 seconds of the trailer, where they reveal what seems to be...
I was going to pull you back a little bit there, good sir.
Okay, I'm getting too excited.
All right, cartridge for bioweapon, and you have all these numbers. Codename Nemesis. Lot none. So this means that this is their only one.
Yeah, of course. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember from the manhwa correctly, I think they tried to make like 10 nemesises, and there was only one guy that had the proper genetics for it, and their experiment actually succeeded.
And then you see a little bit of Nemesis's eye opening up and everything like that. It's so cool.
Yeah. Okay, play the last little bit of the video,
All right, I got to April 3rd, 2020.
which still blows my mind. I can't believe it.
All right, it's coming out for PS4, PS4 Pro, and it might be a timed exclusive, man.
It probably will be, man. There's no reason to keep things like fully exclusive anymore. Just probably like the first year or two.
Resident Evil 3 also includes the online game Resident Evil Resistance. Ooh. Ooh, that makes me antsy, man. 4-player co-op Resident Evil survival horror game.
Yes, and there seems to be just on this first reveal 6 playable characters. Probably going to be more in the future.
Pre-order to get the Resident Evil 3 Classic costume pack. Yes. Oh, I like her hair better in the Classic costume pack.
I do too. I don't. I like her new outfit better, but I do like her original hair.
Yeah. All right, so that's our trailer breakdown. This is about wow, that's almost a half an hour video.
Yeah. Let me just throw in a quick little comment here about
Oh,
that
of
Resident Evil
course.
Resistance
Yeah.
before we call her a day.
Let me rewind that
So
so you get a little bit of a.
yeah, just bring up the still image of the Resident Evil Resistance.
Yeah, there you go.
So if I can make just a projection here, first of all I just want to thank the devs from the RE3 make for even including this. I know that their focus is an online play, and most of the time we champion video game developers that just focus on single player because it is a dying art. But this is pretty much fulfilling my fantasy of having the closest thing to either a sequel or a remake of the Outbreak Files. I don't know if it's going to be that in depth. Like this would pretty much have to be almost another entire game included with this, which might either hike up the value of the game or the price, maybe both. But I'm gonna say right off the bat, this looks like it's gonna be really good. If I can make a projection about what I think the plot is gonna be, I think this might be the guy at the top, the shadowy figure. If it's not an entirely new IP, a new character, I think it might be Albert Wesker.
I
If
hope
he's
not,
already,
man. Ugh.
you think so?
I don't like the lips and the jawline. Like Albert Wesker has more of a defined jawline. This one's more soft looking compared to
Yeah.
Wesker.
Do you know who he kind of reminds me of at like the bottom half? Did you watch the Freddie Mercury movie?
Yes.
I think that this kind of looks like the jawline of the actor who played Freddie Mercury.
Could be.
So anyway, so I'm gonna say that it's either Albert Wesker or some other shadowy figure in a third party. So not working for Umbrella, but working for some other company that's a competitor.
I think it is
Um,
Umbrella because if you look very closely at his lapel,
Oh, there's the pin.
there's the
Yeah,
pin.
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so some character from the Umbrella administration working there. And I think what he's doing, he's going to be like a shadowy through a computer kind of figure, talking to these 6 main characters trying to survive through Raccoon City and get out of the city, just like Jill and Claire and Leon and all that.
All right, here's one
Um,
theory for you, man.
okay.
What if they're going to build a new villain besides Wesker? Because now that Wesker's dead, Neo Umbrella was kind of a eh.
Yeah.
So maybe they're trying to actually branch off to have another villain now.
Yeah, they retroactively include another organization that's working in the shadows, kind of letting Wesker do his thing and trying to sabotage the fall of Umbrella. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It would definitely work off for like if they make Resident Evil 8 actually be plot driven by the original characters as opposed to the characters from RE7, having this like retroactively inserted organization and villain would definitely make sense. Just so they got something to go off of.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up quickly. I think this guy is probably just going to be contacting these characters throughout the playthrough of whatever scenarios, and it's going to be him manipulating them to try to get combat data, kind of like Wesker in the original Mansion incident.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
That's all I got to say.
Well, I'm Dorian Jay with GameShelf91, joined by MasterFeja from the USpot Gaming team.
Hey, that's me.
I hope you guys enjoyed this little trailer breakdown and analysis, and we'll see you guys hopefully within the next week with another video.
Yeah,
Remember-
smash that Patreon and click that like and make sure that you throw a bell at somebody.
All right, have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.